Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another special episode of the Sexy Business Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Lewd Neko, and with me I have Spooky Dangerous.
That's me.
And today we are going to be doing another developer interview. Today we're going to be focusing on the developer of the visual novel Hazelnut Latte, introducing Radlord. Say hello.
Hello, that's me. I'm Radlord.
Now,
Hi there.
yeah, and this is actually a game that we have talked about, I think. Did we talk about it briefly, or did we do a full episode, Spooky? I don't
This was
remember.
in the Gushers and Glazers episode where we both kind of did a top five, and this was in your top five. I believe part of it was in the thumbnail or something as well.
Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, we talked about this when we were talking about some of our favorite like recent games that we've played, and this is also one that I streamed I think twice on over on my stream, so I got to experience a little bit of it, and like right away I have to say like I was immediately like pretty impressed with this one. One of the things that we talked about, and I think I talked about in that episode, is the opening of the game is super solid. Especially with NSFW games, I feel like you really have to nail that like first hour of either reading or gameplay, where you need to find that like right balance of like story and sexy, like get the audience a feel for the characters and also for the sexy stuff. And I gotta say, Hazelnut Latte did just such a great job at that, where I was immediately like, these characters are cute and engaging and also hot.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I actually, it's funny. It's probably because I'm the artist, so I look at my own work with like the most critical of lenses. But I do have some grievances about the opening, and it's because of how it kind of came about, how it was developed. I do a small story time, I guess, immediately.
Go
Hell
for
yeah,
it.
let's go.
I did it. So Hazelnut wasn't the first game I ever worked on. I actually, before I became a Lewd dev, I was friends with Foxy Cube, and he was like, "Hey, your writing is great for your other stuff, but you should write porn." And I'm like, "I don't know, buddy. That's like your thing." And he's like, "No, trust me, trust me." So I wrote like a Ben 10 thing with him, having not watched it since I was like a child. Uh, and I got the bug for it, I guess. And so we wanted to do another game, but then he was like, I have to go do important stuff, so I'll be busy. And I'm like, I'll do it on my own then. So I made Hazelnut Latte to be a short, like little, like whatever episode one is of just going to the cafe, being like, hi, cute girl. Oh boy, okay. And then like, you bang in the bathroom. That was supposed to be it. And then people liked it. And I was like, I could do more, I guess. And then now it's this like beast that will never end.
Yeah,
So,
so it got almost like a complete remake kind of treatment, right? Because I remember what it was before, and it was I don't know if short is like the thing, but it felt like the spec was much smaller. But now it feels like there's much more characters, there's much more going on. Let's talk about the transition between those two things.
it's still happening. It's still we're currently working on version 0.14, which is going to be the last version we have in Ren'Py, because we are moving to Unity in version 0.15, which has been my whole year has been this sort
Oh
of
gosh, yeah, I
transition
can
where
imagine.
I've hired a bunch of people where it's a constant, like I'm doing basically two versions of the game at once. And I'll say this, I've been very hush hush on my Patreon, but I'll say it here as an exclusive, sort of, before
yeah.
I know.
Ooh.
I was like, I'm gonna be an interview, I should say something like juicy. We are reworking episode one pretty drastically.
Ooh.
The Hazel scene is obviously still there because it can't not be, because it's called the Hazelnut Latte. But we are restructuring a lot of how we do it, basically to, like what you noticed, sort of like later on, the scope is so much bigger, and the story is so much more than just I met a cute boy at a cafe. It's like, I mean, there's mafia, there's like business struggles, there's all these things. So to better set that up, and to better set up the point of view characters character arc, because we actually have a character arc for our point of view protagonist, to better set up their character arc, we're restructuring episode one and when we do Unity. So it's going to be episode 1 right now in Renpai is like 7,000 words, and our later episodes range from like 20,000 to 30,000. So it'll be more in that range where we're really gonna restructure like kind of like from the ground up. I did like rewrite most of it, though I kept the Hazel scene pretty similar. But yeah, we're trying to make the early stages feel more like the later stages, so that when the game expands, like balloons in scope, you're not like, what the fuck is this shit? It's sort of like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is kind of what I've been playing the whole time anyway, so there's
Really
no weirdness
obviously
whatsoever.
chronologically developed, where as your skills got better, the quality got better, but then the beginning is still kind of the same thing the whole time. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
hate
like some
that.
of my
I hate.
games have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, like we get it right. It's like it happens because you do get better. I mean, we've redone the sprites so many
Yeah.
times.
Or it's like years
Because
later. Our first release for Shackles of Elzen was 3 years, 4 years ago, or something like that. And then it's like, well, do I want to go back and change this? Do I want to reroute this so it's not so linear or whatever?
yeah, and it's like you do get better, especially since I've been like full time for like a year and a half, and the skill grows when I'm doing it every day, or not every day, but well, hopefully not every day, but at least 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, improving. So the early stuff, I look back and I'm like, it's good, but it's like it could be so much better.
Life is
And
good,
so we're making it
but
better.
it could be better.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
So I have an
Um,
important question, and I imagine all of the viewers are desperate to know the answer to this. Do you ever get a latte with Hazel's nut in
See, I could tell you. I have not gotten the titular hazelnut latte. I had to actually do
What?
research on how that would taste. I was like Googling, I'm like, people who drank
Who here has
cum.
put semen in
In a
coffee?
latte?
I'm like, how would that affect the aroma? Like, how would that affect things? So
Is
I will
looking up
say
like a cooking blog, is cum best served hot or cold?
exactly. So that's the thing too, is like, I mean, that's one of the things of writing is like, write what you know, but like, you have to learn things. So like a lot of like that, and also, I mean, even like just LGBT experiences. Like, I'm not like a trans person, so like, and I'm not a femboy, so I'm like a fat Italian guy. So like, I like learning those experiences is like I have to do research
Those
to
two
make it authentic.
things do not prevent each other from existing. You can be a fat Italian guy femboy, and you can be a fat Italian trans woman. These things are all totally fine.
I
That's
mean,
true, but the cards didn't align for me.
I wrote like so much yaoi when I was a like 14-year-old female, like at the time straight virgin. So, the sky's the limit. You can write whatever you want. And I will
I,
say, I think as far as like the kind of like gender expression and like queerness in this game, like granted, I've only experienced I think like 2 or 3 chapters. So I haven't seen like the full cast of characters, but I thought it was like presented like very respectfully, very interesting. And it was really nice to see like such a wide range of different kinds of characters where you have trans characters as well as like just gender non-conforming sort of femboys. You don't always see that representation where like sometimes it's like, oh, well, they're all going to be trans characters or they're all just going to be like femboys or cross-dressers. So I liked the inclusion of like this is a spectrum and people are going to fall on like all sorts of different, sides of it.
yeah, thank you. I mean, I guess for me as a writer, it's like it's boring if they were all femboys or all trans girls or all trans men or all non-binary or all cis. I would get bored after like the third character. I'd be like, Jesus, I guess we're doing this again. Like, where's the fun? Where's the excitement? Like, this is whatever. I should be making a short game. I mean, yeah. So like, I mean, part of that is like, I obviously am attracted to like gender non-conforming people, like femboys, trans people, like that's like, and especially people who more fall onto like the feminine side. There's a word for it, but I've forgotten. I was gonna Google it before this, but I forgot. But there's a word for it. There's a sexuality for it, and that's definitely who I am. And I thought, if I'm gonna make a porn game, it's gonna be about that because that's what makes me horny, and that's what I want to write about. But I don't. But I know femboys. I know trans people. I know how they feel with being viewed as like a sex object on the internet. I get it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've done more research about it too. So like, how do I make a porn game about these people who I find very attractive, but not just have it be the typical like, well, you just fuck them because they're hot and they have no real feelings and they just like what you like and do what you want to do. So making them more of like an actual character is was really important. If I was gonna do this, I needed to do it like these are characters. Yes, they're hot. Yes, you fuck them, but like it's not all they are, you know? They're more than just that. And they're
Yeah.
diverse and they're
Yeah.
different, they're interesting.
The gender is the least interesting thing about them, but it's still the first thing that you encounter, right? So you find a way to be
Yeah.
attracted to them, but when you actually get to know a person in real life, it's not still just all about the most skin deep and obvious thing. Like you will, grow to enjoy spending time with them because you learn more about them and the things that they do and the parts of their personality that are, different and stuff like that. So in character writing, it makes sense to want to encourage that kind of stuff. But a lot of porn writing is just like, hello, yes, this is the stereotype character. This is the yandere or this is the tsundere. And you're like, great, I just have to write this exact archetype by the numbers because everyone knows and loves this thing. And therefore, I'm going to have a great character because the art's hot or whatever. And it's so easy to just find so much stuff that is made like that. So to actually write something that's a bit more character driven, where people do have struggles and triumphs and stuff like that, and they share that with you, the main character, makes for much more interesting writing.
Exactly. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's so much more interesting to write that and also to play that. Granted, like if you want to turn your brain off and be horny, I totally get it. Like I play games like that too sometimes where I'm like yada yada yada, like where's the sex? But like I think that good writing will grip you no matter what, even if you're sort of skimming it, you'll eventually go like, oh, hold on a second, there's like shit happening. There's like things being discussed here that are like core to the human experience. Let me actually read this. And thankfully, I got a lot of message people that is their experience where they walk in and they're like, "Oh, porn," and then they're like, "You actually changed who I am as a person, and I've now come out as whatever, and I now am living a better life." Yes,
Amazing.
those
I mean, I'll
DMs
say
are
in
like, thank
general,
God.
I was really impressed with and this makes sense when you talk about like the length of like each chapter is that like there's like a really nice balance between like the sort of emotional or like story driven moments and then like the sexy moments. And I also appreciated how grounded everything is. Because like obviously it's a very porny concept of like, what if you went into a cafe and there was a cute femboy and he nutted in your coffee? And then like I liked how later on like Hazel apologizes for that and it was like, hey, that was actually like I'm glad it turned out okay, but that was kind of fucked up to do you like without your clear consent.
Yes,
Or like later on when you take Hazel on the first date, you have the option to basically go and fuck the waitress instead because it's another cute femboy. And that has like really bad consequences because obviously if you did that on a first date, like you'd be a horrible jerk, like an absolute asshole. And it really hurts Hazel. And I remember like getting that scene on stream and I just felt terrible. I was like, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. I feel so bad. Or like another moment that I remember is when the date goes well and you take Hazel back to their your hotel or their hotel. You have this like little moment where you're like watching a movie and they start talking about what is it? Evil Dead?
definitely
Right?
not Evil Dead. It's copyright. It's different. It's not the same
Yeah,
property. I swear to God.
legally distinct Evil Dead.
It's
And
Bash Williams. It's the Evil Death. It's different.
Evil Death. Right, right, right.
Sam Raimi, please, I love you. Don't sue me.
And there was like the one question they ask of like, oh, what's your favorite movie in the series? And there's like 7 different options. And like I wasn't even familiar with the series, but like I read through all of the different options just because I was like, oh, I want to listen to them info dump about this thing. Like it was just
Yes,
like such a
queen.
fun little
Autism info
like
dump
character.
me.
Yeah, exactly. This like it was a nice little like character building moment of because like that's what happens on dates is like you don't just go, hello, I like you, you are hot, let's have sex. Like you talk about like stupid stuff. Like you talk about your random hobbies or your silly little interests. And
Exactly.
like and then that's hot. Like it's sexy to like get to see someone being like vulnerable and goofy with you. And then you get to fuck their brains out.
Exactly. But first we had to do a little tism trip about Evil Death and what's your favorite, and we disagree on what the best one is. Or what I love too is that like people will come to me and be like, I've never seen this, or I don't like Evil Dead. I didn't like that I had to pick that I had to like it. And I'm like, you could say no, and Hazel is chill with that. And he's even like, well, yeah, it'd be weird if we like all the same things, right? Like my characters are not like based on a point system where like you get enough good boy points and they fuck you. Like you can disagree about like stupid shit. Like I actually don't like Evil Dead. I think you're stupid, but like okay, I guess we can like coexist. But so there's some things where the characters don't give a shit. Other stuff is like I don't accept your trans roommate. Okay, get the fuck out of my office. Like you're dead to me. Like go away. Game over.
Go straight to
Which
jail.
straight to jail. The game ends. Force quit. I wish I could.
Installs
But people
malware onto your
actually.
computer.
Oh god, it'd be great. People hate it. Speaking of like trans characters and like diverse cast, people really hated that I included Robbie, the the trans man femboy. But fuck you, Seethe, and you should expand your horizons and accept people for who they are
Hell
because
yeah.
it does nothing negative to your lives.
I
I
mean,
knew I'd get hate for it. Like as soon as I wrote the character, I was like, I'm going to get bad juju from the piracy site that hates me, but I don't care.
I mean, like trans men are so underrepresented in like all forms of like written or drawn or game porn. Like
Even
even
just
when trans
traditional
characters,
films.
even just traditional stuff. Like even when like transness is represented, it's usually always trans women, which is great. I'm not saying there should be less trans women, but I am saying there should be definitely more trans men because I know tons of trans men who are kinky, who are into these sorts of things, and they
Same.
just don't ever get to see themselves anywhere.
Exactly. And I mean, some of the fun of it too is like making Robbie more of a dude than Hazel even is.
Yeah, because
Like
they're
Robbie's like a sweaty gamer boy.
on one point of the spectrum, wishing that they were further along the other way. So they're both just kind of looking in the same direction across the spectrum to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
interesting.
awesome.
There should be more trans men media. Like all the trans men that I've met in real life have gigantic knockers and massive dysphoria about it. And I think that that
Yeah.
is like a really easy and interesting place to start when building a character. Because oftentimes when you meet someone and they have gigantic cleavage, you will notice that and you go, wow, like, are they showing this to me? Or is it just they're wearing this outfit because it was comfy? Or do they actually not like having this thing? Is very different from most porn, which is like, hey, this is my amazing body, would you like to enjoy it with me? Instead of it's like, this is a thing that I actually really kind of don't like, and it's really hard to just not have it out there everywhere, which
Mhm.
is interesting to play with gender in that kind of way. And I think Hazelnut Latte is kind of looking at it from that kind of perspective, where it's like, I want to talk about that gender discussion and why these characters are different, rather than here is the silhouette of what a character could be.
Exactly. Like some of the fun of like the last Renpai update of 0.14, there's like a lot of Robbie stuff because Robbie needs more scenes. But like some of it is also like Robbie's very horny and wants to fuck. However, Robbie hates the body they're living in. So being reminded of that body, causes dysphoria. So it's this constant battle that he has of like, I want to get dick down. However, I have these things on my body. I do not want to be looking at or noticing or so that's like a fun character to write, yeah, in a porn game where ideally it's a power fantasy, not mine, not mine. You will learn to love them as people and talk about movies with them.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels good to know that like you have gotten such a positive response of like people, experimenting with their gender or just learning to be more accepting because, I imagine a lot of people who come into your game come into it just from like more of the fetishizing perspective of like I only see gender nonconforming people as something to jerk off to and then I don't really see them as people anymore. And I think that's one of the like powerful things about these kinds of games or erotica or things like that is that like erotic stuff and porn and sexuality is a really important part of everybody's lives. Like we all experience it in some way. Like even for asexual people, they have their own experience of that. And I
Mhm.
think, sometimes erotica or porn or even just silly little hentai can be an interesting way of introducing some of those like scarier concepts of like, what do you think it's like to deal with dysphoria? Or how would you react to finding out one of your friends is trans or bi or gay? Or, recently we talked to a different dev who included a discussion on like sexual assault in a game that was otherwise pretty like, sexy and cute and funny, but they did have like one or two scenes that were like, hey, there are also serious issues that have to deal with these things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, part of what I do is also like in Hazelnut Latte, you could play the whole game, and if you don't fuck any of the characters, Hazel will eventually be like, "What's going on?" And you could be like, "I'm actually asexual."
Based. That's so sick.
Thank you. And that's like an episode. God, I think 4 or 5 that happens. In the rewrite, you can come up from like episode 1, like within the first like 5,000 words. I have the option to say I'm asexual. So it's much it's much earlier in the new version we're doing. But if you do go on long enough, Hazel will be like, hey, so like, is it me or is there? And it's like, I'm asexual. It's
I've
like,
been trying to
oh,
get that.
okay.
What's going on? Are you just really autistic, or am I not doing it for you?
Exactly. It's I'm just trying to make the wokest game possible, but also have you nut.
That's so funny. I
and
like
yeah,
the idea of
I
being
mean,
like 60 hours into a porn game, and the porn game is like, why aren't you jerking it? Have you perhaps learned something about yourself?
exactly. Yes. Well, because it came from me playing porn games and me going like, I'm not actually attracted to this one character, but the game's making me have sex with them, and I really am not feeling who you are. So I'm like, when I made my own porn game, I was like, well, what if like you don't want to fuck Hazel? What if you don't want to fuck Rob? You want to fuck Vera? And then I realized, what if you said no to everybody? And we've now created an asexual character. Let's actually explore that. And then now it's like a character that you can have, and or you're just like, I want to wait till marriage, which is the other option, which is the long con for 2035 me to write in a special amazing
marriage
scene where
route.
if you've held the entire time, you will get a special lewd scene.
That's sick.
The ultimate
Steam
ultimate
achievement
reward.
unlocked. You protected
Exactly.
your precious cum, king.
There's a scene in episode, God, I think 3 or 4, where you can have a threesome with Hazel and Robbie, but only if you didn't. This is how you get it, but people are confused all the time. But I don't mind saying it now. If you don't fuck the entire time, but then you do stuff with Robbie, he'll be like, "Hey, why'd you do stuff with me and not Hazel?" And you can be like, I'm not actually comfortable yet with having sex with someone with like a male like born body," and Robbie will be like, "Well, we can fix that." And then you only get it if you do this long, like, this. It was essentially like a character route, really. I was thinking, like, what if you didn't do stuff the entire time? Then you did stuff with Robbie. All the decisions and choices and weird moments come from me sitting there thinking, like, well, what if the player thought this and didn't do this or did that? And why would they do that? What if it's this? What if it's that? And then all of a sudden we have a million choices and I'm crying because I'm having to implement them all. But it's
So
really interesting character work, It's really interesting work.
Yeah, and you just watch as all the branches of your game get so much bigger and bigger and bigger, and the scope just balloons out of control.
Yeah, trying to rein it in, trying to rein that back a bit.
We actually got a comment recently because we have 2 games that are designed very differently. Shackles of Elsman has tons of branches, but because of the way that we do updates, some branches will get ignored, or some branches are just like, hey, there will be content here in the future, and it's like kind of difficult to navigate. And then Sleep Shock, which is just one route, and then later, once that one route is complete, we'll come back and do branches, like 2 completely different styles. Person that had played game 1 comes and plays game 2, and they're like, is it just fully linear? Is there never going to be any branches yet? I'm like, well, look, people complain all the time in Shackles that it's too short because they just happen to encounter one of the branches that's not complete and they didn't explore anywhere else, and I thought that was the end of the game. And so instead we made one really long one, and then people are like, where are the branches? What is the problem?
Yeah.
So
No offense to players. We love them. They don't know what they want. And it's our job to navigate how to manipulate them into thinking that we are giving them what they really want. Because I have the same thing where I'll have, now that our game's like kind of open worldy a bit, people are missing stuff, and they're like, "This is a short update," and I'm like, "Did you do this?" And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "Well, there you go. I mean,
yeah,
look around. Like, there's things in the world for you to explore and discover, and also, for different routes too. So, I also would love to make a game that's linear because then I wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. But
yeah,
I don't know if my brain can do it.
It's kind of the problem with releasing updates to a game that is in development, is that people won't get that finished experience of kind of naturally exploring through everything and then seeing everything that you intended to be there. Sometimes And look, if you're walking around in a 3D game like Skyrim and you see a pink and black placeholder texture, you know that something is supposed to be there but isn't there yet. When you're navigating through like a Vampire game and something, you know, is maybe mentioned but doesn't exist, you don't really have any way to see what is supposed to be there or isn't. So it is kind of hard to figure out what's going on. But for our latest game, we've changed it completely, where we're doing all of the narrative is delivered to the game by reading documents that you find. So you will like go, okay, I'm going to read through all the police research files, and you open them up and you like read through criminal reports and stuff like that as to things that have happened. And then it's entirely about like exploring environmental based storytelling. But because we're doing it like that, we can't release any updates until the game is fully complete, because it would make no sense as to anything that is happening. So it's really interesting to see how players interact with, you know, just catching a part of something, or they're like, well, you know, where's the art that you added this update? Or all I saw was the art that you added this update. Where's all the routing and stuff that you talked about? Or if you do anything in two places at once, they will miss the second thing because they saw the first thing and they go, yeah, that was what they added. That was tiny. It's like, yeah, but you didn't look anywhere else. So, yeah.
Yeah, despite being a genre of gaming that is primarily about reading, not a lot of reading happening. Not a lot of actually taking in information. Looking at a change log and then skimming it and then being like, I don't get it. It's like, all right, listen, I can't handhold you the entire way through this. We've tried. We implemented I think last update, if you check your phone for all the big scenes, it'll say like, hey, you should probably go here. But that's like, I don't want to like, you know, be too handholdy, because it is a video game where you should be playing the game. If I wanted to just show you all the scenes, I would just play all the scenes for you, and then you'd be like, cool, thank you so much.
My movie
but
I have prepared. Yeah.
Here's my film I made with PNGs, and
there are some games
there you
that
go.
do
Hope you like it.
really heavy hand-holding. Like Confined with Goddesses is basically like, this is exactly when and where you need to be for the next part of the story for this character to happen. And what kind of ends up happening is you just stop exploring at a certain point, and then you just start cooking by the recipe.
Yeah, and I have a lot of stuff in I want people to explore the world, and there's so many, like, if you go to Hazel at work, there's like so many different like small talk, little conversations you can have with them about kind of bullshit, but it's like fun character stuff. Or if you text all the characters, they'll have things to say. Or if you know, in this new update, we're having Hazel and Robbie's apartment be open. So now you can talk to Hazel in the morning when he's making breakfast, Hazel in his room at night, Hazel at work. So you have like all these little moments you can explore, and like there's so many moments that plus all the plot plus all the porn, it's actually more time than the in-game week would really allow. But it's fine because, you know, we haven't implemented like a stop yet, so you can kind of just replay the week over and over and keep your progress. But it is a lot of little content and a lot of little moments, and we even added a Noto, like the villain. He has like this brothel that's you know, cover story as a restaurant. So in our last update, we added 2 new servers who are essentially there to be like, hey, if your route didn't have any porn because of whatever choices you made, it's okay. Come to the brothel and fuck one of these characters. We're sorry you missed out on plot or on sex scenes in the main story. Just come over here, and we're gonna keep updating it as we go along, so that, like, you know, if you're stuck or if you don't, if you know your route's weird, if you pissed off characters, you can always come to Noto's and you'll be taken care of.
I do have an important question that I want to ask, because we're still kind of on the back of the big pay processor, MasterCard, Visa, big problems. What's your first-hand experience with itch.io and Steam kind of having to navigate the changes and stuff there?
We were having so much fun, Spooky. We were having a really good time. So I'm happy we've done this and brought us to a sadder place.
Yeah.
But this is the second act. This is the
ending.
we're really in the belly of the beast here. So I hate them all. I hate what's happening in the world. I bitch on my Patreon like all the time because I'm constantly going to like protests, and I'm constantly like really concerned about the planet and the world and the governments and what we're doing, and it's a lot. It's stuff that people don't want to hear because they just want to goon, and I get it. But they're coming for us now. We can't ignore it anymore. Like before, it was like, yeah, okay, other people, I guess. I'm just like, 19 and I don't know what my sexuality is and I just want to jerk off the hazelnut latte. But now they want to take that away from you. They really do because God, I guess earlier this year we tried to get into Next Fest and like a demo. We had a demo built that was pretty sexy. First 5 episodes, a more refined version of what's on itch, and Steam came back and said no. We're not gonna allow your demo because of some vague thing. And we eventually, through my publisher Shades talking to them, we figured out that it was because we had mentioned school. So they thought it was set in a school. So now in the script, it is a place of academia. And there are no kids or children. They are just people of the youth persuasion. I have to do all this shit in the script now.
I do the same.
To not say kids or school. It's censorship. It's so dumb. Like, just look at the content, actually have like a brain about it. And this is clearly adults who are at, like, I mean, it's they're at a job, they're adults, they're paying bills. So that was really annoying. That was my first real thing with Steam. And then Itch was, I used to get not a lot of money from Itch. I make most of my income off Patreon. But I would get like, a decent amount of money from Itch every month through people dropping tips. I don't get that anymore because I still want to have the page up. So because people find the game through Itch and they find the Patreon. But now I don't get money from them anymore, and that is stupid. And then, God, the other day I saw this thing where apparently Steam no longer is allowing adult games to go into early access.
Yeah, Shades posted that as well. I've seen that, and I'm curious because all our games are listed as early access, but they haven't
is it like
said
they're gonna
retroactively?
Yeah, because that's my plan was to hit when I hit like we're planning for 24 episodes. So between episodes 12 to 15, we were gonna think about like, okay, when do we want to do early access? When's the good moment to do the jump? But now I guess we're not gonna do it, which sucks because everybody was really like excited to get early access at some point because a lot of people don't want to spend a monthly Patreon subscription to play a game. I get it. It's, if you do it all the time, it's a lot of money. So I understand why players would want to just give, one amount of money one time and have the game and then still support it. So Steam doing that, Itch doing what they're doing, Steam cracking down, it's just it makes me really fucking sad and scared for the future of this industry, which is essentially, what pays my rent and what lets me stay alive every day. So it's all under the illusion of for the kids, but really what it is they don't want to parent their children and they just want the internet to do it for them, which is
it's never been about the kids. It's just been
so fucked up. And no, that's like the guys, right? Like, it's for the children.
Yeah.
It's not for the children. It's for you.
Yeah, our plan has always been to wait for our early access games to hit 2 hours average played, which is the Steam minimum refund threshold for time. And then our new games that are going to go on Steam soon, we're waiting until we think it's going to be a lot closer to that. Because what will happen is we put up a game, and like this happened with Shackles when it first released, people go, oh, this game is so short, it's so dog shit. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of the point, so that you could follow along with the updates as it happens and you would be able to give input. And then those reviews, even though they're 2-3 years old, are the most voted because a lot of votes happened because that initial visibility release, and then now they're still just the highest things. Even though it's 3 years later and 2 hours plus gameplay has been added to it, people are still like, oh, the game is short. Do I really want to buy this? So it's like, okay, well, we go through all that. We fight Steam, my fork against his sword, and we finally come to the table, and then we get review bombed, or people just treat it like shit in their comments because they just have no trust or faith or care about, how hard we're working to make all this stuff come together. So I do totally get that. I think
it's tough.
Yeah, I think my itch.io might be doing a little bit better than yours because I noticed that my view count overall is just 1/3 of what it was before, but my income isn't super worse. But because we post monthly updates, all the people that follow our account get a notification still, like that hasn't changed. And so I see
you can make income still?
Downloading the update is still coming back and getting those downloads on the monthly update. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
I'm surprised. So I'm not making money because to make, I guess maybe the information is outdated, so I haven't really been keeping up with it because I've been working. But from my knowledge, it was like if you were an adult game who wanted people to pay for it or accepted tips, they were going to delist you. But to get yourself listed, you have to have not be making money. So you'd have to be not accepting tips, not accepting payments. And that's why I'm not making anything. Is because to get it back to being public, I had to disable tips.
I haven't done that. I have no idea. I don't think my thing is public. I searched for it before and it didn't come up, but I still have people finding it. So I wonder if that's just because it's coming through our Twitter or something like that, and they got into choosing itch.io over Steam. But
yeah, I decided to keep it a public like signpost to the Patreon, just because people will find it through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people will funnel to the Patreon where we actually have new updates and new content and the community.
All right, now we are getting towards the end of our time. It's time for Neko to ask you the most important question of the podcast.
Who is your waifu and or husbando, like, of all time? Any fictional character.
Oh my god. These aren't things I think about anymore. I'm old. I don't.
I mean, you can choose one from like childhood.
You can choose a recent one. Like, what anime girl did you yank it to most recently?
None. God, I don't know. Oof. This one hurts. This one hurts. I don't know.
This just in, man has no waifus.
It doesn't have to be an anime girl. It could be like a cartoon character.
It's probably because I'm married. I don't think about this anymore.
Well, the last guy just said his wife. Like no pause at all. He's like, my wife. So,
that's so cute. And, I don't want to steal that answer. I took the question literally. Maybe that's sexism, but
same.
What about of your characters? Which one would you choose as your waifu and or husbando?
Keira, who's not in the game yet, unfortunately, but it'd be Keira, 1000%. It's the redhead. It's the redhead non-binary who I am biting at the pillow, wanting to put in the game. I'm like the plot points are in place. I want to get them, and they're so fucking bad. But like, we need to get there in the pacing, right? Like, do I want to do this right now? Of course, I would want to do it right now, but like, you know, I don't want to just jump there with no build up or, you know, well writtenness, I guess. So, but yeah, for my game, Keira, I'm so excited to talk about and get them in there, honestly.
All right, and we'll be looking forward to them coming and joining the game, because I'm pretty confident that a lot of our followers are going to be very keen to come and check out Hazelnut Latte. Do you want to tell them all where they can find it, places that aren't itch.io?
Patreon.com/Radlord. Maybe just Radlord, or was it Lewd? Hold on, pause. Jamie, pull that up. It's Radlord. Okay. Yeah, okay, so patreon.com/Radlord or Subscribestar. We have a few people on Subscribestar, which is the backup base in case Patreon gets nuked. I've been running the Subscribestar as a safety net. So we're also on Subscribestar. But yeah, I post weekly progress reports on what we did in the last week of development with a fancy little graph. So if you don't want to read the whole big report I write, I spend like 2 hours every Monday writing it and double checking it and making it sound nice and concise with graph. But we update every week. There's a monthly poll on who Cockman should draw as a character from the game and like a nice pinup. Robbie actually won this most recent poll, which is great. I have to make a new poll actually soon. But that's where you could get new updates on the game. I'll post little teases. And also that's where you would get new builds of the game, because itch does not get new builds, because we have moved on from free builds, because the free demo on itch is the first 5 episodes, which is like over, I think it's like close to 100,000 words. So it's like a novel. It's huge. It's a lot of free content. But we're soon going to be releasing the alpha for version 0.14, and then the hype begins for Unity, which is going to be crazy, because we're doing a lot of stuff that we've not talked about, because it's going to blow people's minds, hopefully, or I will be burned at the stake. But there's a reason why Ren'Py is just me and my main programmer, Noba, working on Ren'Py, and then we have 4 other people working on Unity all the time.
Hell yeah.
Draining my finances, but it's going to be amazing. So look out for that. That's kind of it. I have a Twitter I say stupid shit on. If you want to hear me rant about how I hate AI, you can check out my Twitter,
Oh
Traveler
yeah.
Lewd. Um, most of it's me crashing out about AI, or I'm talking about Common Writer. One of the
I mean,
two.
we did
It
an
depends on the
entire
day.
hate
That's
episode about the my femboy roommate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Don't
Yeah.
listen. I can go off if I can go off. I have so many opinions about that stupid
Yeah.
fucking game. Piece of shit slop artist.
Arch
Fucking
nemesis material.
I
Our
I
ops.
hate this person so much. Genuinely. I really do. Uh like what a thief. What a lazy bastard. I will fight you in the fucking Denny's parking lot. Like square up, bitch. I will fucking
Thanks.
go. But they'll probably send their fucking proxy because they don't want to do stuff themselves. Oh, what?
Ooh.
Anyway, I really hate AI. My Discord told me about W Place today, and I was like, "Oh,
I
what's this
saw
fucking
that.
thing?" They're like,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, it's a place that people can draw on the planet of Earth." And I'm like, "Cool, whatever." And I hit explore, like the randomize button, and the first thing I see in like southern Kazakhstan is someone drawing my femboy roommate. I was gonna get the gun. I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is in my safe space. This is what we're doing."
I feel
Anyway,
like you need to just draw like Hazel just like beating the shit out of the main character.
That would be sick.
like fucking Amazon basic femboy over here. Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh my
Fan
god.
art of me
Could you
fighting my arch nemesis is so fucking sick as a concept.
I need like 8K highly shaded art of Hazel like suplexing whatever the basic bitch from my femboy roommate is.
Yeah.
God. Someone on Twitter was like, they're like Starbucks and you're like the local coffee shop that uses like good ingredients.
That's sick.
And that's how I feel, man. It's like I everyone's drinking Starbucks, and I'm like, it tastes like shit, right? And they're like, yeah, but it's everywhere and it's easy. But if you go to the local place, you're gonna have like the best coffee ever made by a cute barista.
And they'll remember your name.
they might be a
and Hazel
femboy.
might nut in it.
I actually, God, last month I was going to a cafe to work. I went to a new one because I was like going between places to go meet a friend, and I thought I'd stop somewhere to write for a bit. Straight up, like trans girl barista, and I was like, is this a sign from God? Is this where I'm supposed to do my work?
I'm doing the holy work. Absolutely.
I'm like, it's real. We did it. The One Piece is real, everyone. Anyway, sorry for crashing out, but I was prepared for this.
It's totally
Well earned.
fine.
Right.
Totally fine.
I've listened to that episode.
All right, Neko, do you want to sign us out?
All right. Well, you've listened to another really awesome interview. So I think we've earned a subscribe. So go ahead and hit that little subscribe button and make sure you turn on notifications because videos like this do not get promoted at all. So
Hell
make
no,
sure
they
you have
don't.
notifications on. Share it with your friends. Do you have friends who like femboys? Do they like visual novels? Do they like porn? Send our videos to them. Also, leave us a comment. We love recommendations. So if you know another good not AI slop game, tell us about it. If you're a dev yourself or someone who works basically anywhere in this field, feel free to reach out to us. We love interviewing people. And if you have played Hazelnut Latte, feel free to leave some of your thoughts. Who was one of your favorite characters? Would you let Hazelnut in your latte? And next up, we'll probably be talking about some more horny stuff. Might be another interview. You got to find out though. So stay tuned, and we will see you next time on the Sexy Business Podcast. Bye everybody.
Bye.